In this tutorial, I am going to teach you how to answer time management interview questions. Now, a lot of you have been reaching out to me in the comments section below the videos, and you've been saying, Richard, how do I answer questions such as how do you manage your time, and also how do you prioritize your work? Now, these questions are coming up often during job interviews, and if you cannot answer them correctly, you will probably fail your interview. So if you do have a job interview coming up soon for any role or company, make sure you watch this tutorial from start to finish. It could be the difference between a pass or a fail. Let's get straight into it. So the first time management interview question I recommend you prepare for is, how do you manage your time? So I will give you several tips for answering each interview question, and I will then give you a brilliant example answer. So tip number one, unless you can clearly explain to the interviewer how you manage your time, you will not get hired. Tip number two, in your answer, talk about having a schedule. That's important. And also talk about how you set realistic time limits for each task you are responsible for. So let me now give you a brilliant example answer to help you pass your interview. How do you manage your time? Here we go. I manage my time by planning in advance the duties and tasks I am responsible for. I calculate how long each task is likely to take me to complete, and I always consider any potential problems that might occur and factor these into my time. Now, for regular workplace tasks, I will create a daily schedule. The more I complete the schedule, the faster I become, which then frees me up to assist my co-workers with other duties and also carry out professional development training. Now, to manage my time effectively, I consider the priorities of the team or company I am working for. I set reasonable time limits for each task, and I am not afraid to say no when needed so as to reduce distractions. That's a brilliant answer. So you can either pause the video if you want to and write down the questions and answers as we work through them together, or I will soon tell you where you can download instantly these slides and all of the responses. So I hope you're enjoying this tutorial. Just quickly, if you are enjoying it, please do give the video a like. I very much appreciate your support, because by liking the video, that tells me you find the content useful and it motivates me to create more videos for you. Thank you so much for your support. So the second time management interview question is, how do you prioritize your work? Tip number one. Now, this is a very common time management interview question that comes up during most job interviews. So make sure you prepare an answer to it. Can you imagine sitting there and the interview's going well, and then the hiring manager says to you, how do you prioritize your work? And you struggle to answer it. You're not going to get hired. Tip number two, in your response, talk about using a color scheme to prioritize urgent and non-urgent tasks, because this then demonstrates you are fully prepared to prioritize your work in accordance with the company's goals and objectives. Here's my example answer to assist you. How do you prioritize your work? Here we go. I prioritize my work based on the needs of the company. I draw up a list of daily tasks and then decide which ones need to be completed first. Level 1 or red tasks need my immediate attention. Level 2 or orange tasks come next. And finally, level 3 or green tasks can be completed when I have more time available. I also make sure there is flexibility in my working day so I can respond to urgent tasks or work requests from my manager. That's another great answer. It shows that you are fully prepared. You already know in advance how you are going to prioritize your work, and you are using a very simple but clever 3-step system that's red, orange, and green tasks, or you can just call them level 1, level 2, and level 3. But it's a great way to answer that common time management interview question. Now, don't go anywhere, because I still have many more questions and answers to give you. But when you're ready, you can click that link in the top right-hand corner of the video, head straight through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can instantly download these slides as a PDF document and also my full set of 50 brilliant answers to difficult interview questions. But here's the next time management interview question I want to help you with. And that question is, tell me about a time when you had to manage a stressful, time-pressured situation. Tip number 1. So this is a time management behavioral interview question where you must give a specific situation you have previously been in. Tip number 2, my advice, and this is a great tip, is to use the STAR technique to structure your answer. Now, you can use this STAR technique for any type of behavioral interview question where the hiring manager says to you, tell me about a time or describe a situation you were in. So let me quickly explain what the STAR technique is, and I will then give you a brilliant example answer. So the STAR technique stands for situation, task, action, and result. So you start off your answer by explaining the situation you were faced with. You then move on and give details about the task that needed your attention. You then move on and give in-depth details about the action you took to achieve the task. So the action part of your answer will always be more in-depth. And then finally, you finish off your answer and you tell the interviewer the results of your actions, and always make sure, this is important, that the result is a positive outcome. So here's my example answer to help you that utilizes the STAR technique. Tell me about a time when you had to manage a stressful, time-pressured situation. Here we go. I was working on a project with 4 team members when 2 of them went off sick unexpectedly 7 days before the project deadline. I wasn't prepared to extend the project deadline, so it was my task to find a solution to this time-sensitive problem. I assessed the outstanding project tasks and decided some of them could be reassigned to the remainder of the team. However, there were still some technical duties that needed completing that nobody in the team was qualified to undertake. I searched online and managed to find a suitable freelancing website where I could hire people with the relevant technical qualifications and expertise to carry out the tasks. And after interviewing one of them via Skype, I hired him to complete the remaining technical duties. Now, by remaining calm, by thinking outside the box and working extra hours myself in the evening, I was still able to get the project completed on time for my employer. That's a cracking answer. It's a really good in-depth answer. And it's helped by using the STAR technique to structure the response. Here's the next question. If you were assigned a large project, how would you make sure you completed it on time? Tip number 1. Now, this is a tough time management interview question to answer. It is assessing your task and completion capabilities. Tip number 2. In your answer, talk about creating a plan of action for the project and also setting yourself milestones to reach to ensure you achieve your objectives. So make sure you mention those 2 phrases, plan of action and milestones. So here's my example answer to help you. If you were assigned a large project, how would you make sure you completed it on time? I would first obtain a thorough brief of what I was responsible for and the project deadline I must meet. I would ask questions to make sure I fully understood the project requirements. I would then create a plan of action, assess each area of the project to decide how much time to allocate to each task, and then set definitive milestones I had to achieve. I would also determine the potential threats to the project completion and put contingency plans in place if needed. I would clear my diary to make sure I had the time to complete the project, inform my co-workers that I would be working on the project and respectfully ask them not to distract me, and then set to work. Finally, I would periodically assess my progress against the project milestones to make sure I was on track to achieve success. That's another brilliant answer that shows you fully know how to manage your time, and they will impress any hiring manager. Here's the next question. Tell me about a time when you missed a deadline. Now, of course, lots of people think they need to say during their interview that they've never missed a deadline, but we all have missed deadlines previously. Here's 2 tips. Tip number 1, the interviewer is assessing what you did to learn from the experience of missing a deadline, so be honest in your answer. Tip 2, again, give a specific situation you have been in where you missed a deadline, but you took positive action to learn from the experience so that it never happened again. And also, don't forget to use that STAR technique to structure your answer. Remember, this is a behavioral interview question because it starts off with, tell me about a time. Here's a brilliant example response. Tell me about a time when you missed a deadline. Here we go. When I first started work, my supervisor gave me an important task to complete by the end of the working day. Now, the task involved carrying out a stock check of all company products and then determining their total value. My supervisor needed the information for a management team meeting she was having the following day. Now, unfortunately, I went head on into the task without first considering what I was going to do and how I was going to do it. And as a result, I ended up missing some of the products from the stock take, which resulted in me finishing the task an hour late. As soon as I realised I was going to miss the deadline, I informed my supervisor, I apologised, and I rectified the issue. Now, moving forward, I never made the same mistake again. Now, whenever I have responsibility for time-sensitive tasks, I create a plan of action which determines the exact amount of time it will take me, and I make sure there are no distractions. And I'm pleased to say that I've never missed a deadline since. That's an honest answer. You are saying it happened when you first started work. You are saying that you were positive, you went head on into the task, which shows enthusiasm, but you just didn't think about what you needed to do. But most importantly, you learned from that experience. Here's the next question. How do you maintain a healthy work-life balance? Tip number 1, again, this time management question comes up often during job interviews, so please make sure you have an answer already prepared. Tip number 2, in your response, talk about what you do both inside and outside of work to maintain a healthy work-life balance. So what they want to hear is that you don't get stressed out because you can manage your workload, you don't need to be supervised, and you take responsibility for your health and well-being. Here's a brilliant top-scoring answer. How do you maintain a healthy work-life balance? Here we go. I maintain a healthy work-life balance by following several simple rules. I always make a list of tasks I am responsible for, and I tick them off as I go. Now, this makes me feel good because I can then see the progress I am making against my responsibilities. Whilst at work, I always focus on what I need to do, and I block out any distractions. I also take time outside of work for physical activities. Now, early in the morning, I go for a brisk walk for 30 minutes, and this sets me up for the day. Several evenings during the week, I visit the gym. Now, maintaining an active personal life helps to improve concentration levels at work and increases positivity. Finally, to maintain a healthy work-life balance, I find time to relax at home, and I practice mindfulness several times a week. It's a brilliant answer. Shows that you are fully on top of your work-life balance, and you are able to carry out all your duties responsibly and on time, and you are positive about work, which is great. So the next thing to do is click that link right now in the top right hand corner of the video. Head straight through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can instantly download a copy of these slides so you get all of the answers as a bonus, in addition to my 50 brilliant answers to difficult interview questions. That's a great guide, by the way, because in addition to these questions and answers that I've just gone through, the time management ones, you also get answers to tell me about yourself. Why do you want to work here? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Loads and loads of common interview questions. And I genuinely believe if you prepare answers to them and study that guide, your chances of success will literally skyrocket. So make sure you check that out. Also on that page, and this is why it's important to go through to it, I put some more really important tips on there to help you pass your job interview. So make sure at the very least you go through and check those out. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This is important. Literally thousands of you, and I mean thousands of you, are passing your job interviews as a result of these tutorials. I am here to help you, but I can only help you if you are subscribed. By subscribing, you have the benefit that you will be the first person to be notified as soon as I upload career-changing content. And also subscribing, I can then help you to negotiate a salary and also gain a promotion at work whenever you want to. Please also give the video a like. That is all I ask. That motivates me to create more content for you. You can also ask me any questions below the video and I will answer them for you. No problem at all. Oh, and don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video, and it's always an honor and a pleasure to connect with positive and like-minded professionals such as yourself. I wish you all the best for passing your job interview. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial and for supporting my channel. Have a wonderful day.